Good evening, fellow groove riders. Will from Will's Electrical Services. So I'm starting to do a daily blog of all the stuff I do. I'm a big fan of Dan from Ashfields, and I quite enjoy his videos. Obviously, I'm not going to be at any standard like him. I think also Nick does them as well. So I thought I'd give it a go because I thought it's quite enjoyable, and I'll show you bits and bobs around the way and all that. It's not all going to be too serious and all that. So I thought it'd be quite interesting for you. It'd be quite good for you to get to know my company as well. Anyway, if you could do us a massive favour before we get the video started, if you could show your support and if you could like, subscribe and flick my bean, it will help the channel grow. Help the channel. Electrical installation condition report. This is a 3-bedroom rental property. We've been here before, but unfortunately the geezer was a hoarder and now he's moving out. But luck would have it, he's turned up and he needs to be on a call. But saving grace is if you pan up to there, Ebbs, is that it's got a split load board and that first cooker's got a socket on it. So we've run an extension lead onto that. We've even, like when we were here before, just show us these, we've got photos of it before, so we're going to look and test most of the circuits out there and see where we get on from there. So what we do is, if I find anything lively, I can show the top bit there. Got Lenny in with us today as well. Well, we're only doing this morning because me and Lenny are going to Southampton tonight for the football, aren't we, Lenners? Yeah, mate. Right, anyway, let's get on with it. Chelsea! 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 I'll give you a quick close-up of this consume unit for the house that we're doing this condition report. So obviously this is a 16th edition plastic Hager consume unit. This is actually an old girl, this one. Large hole in the back. None of them circuits protected are RCD. It's a very large hole. I don't know if you can see this. Here's my inspection light. That was also a video on my channel. I'll put a link above. Obviously, if you want to join the other 3 people to watch that, you know what I mean? But yeah, so we probably will be quoting to replace this board. You know, there is probably only C3s, but this actual landlord wants it, probably want a surge protection on there as well, because he's got solar PV, which I'll show you there. A couple of other little observations in here, which is pretty major, is that you see all this trunking that goes over the door. That's obviously hasn't got fire clips in it, and that old bad boy looking old. Look at that, that does an outside light. I'll quickly show you that, just so you can see. You've got the gas there, connection's a bit iffy, but so we'll have to redo that. And then you've got that light there, and that's that connection. Beautiful house, I tell you. It's a bit of a rare one really, because we actually come here about 3 weeks ago, but the guy's actually moving out today or tomorrow. So, and he was a bit of a hoarder, so it was a bit of a nightmare. So we've come back to do it now. Right, we're in the office today. This is the morning after the test that you just see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a quick tour of some of the photos, images of the observations that I found. Some have got different codings and all that, you know, like they'd rather go into what I'm coding them. I'm just highlighting them to see what you think as well, you know, because obviously it's hard to say, because this is actually a 3-bedroom house with like the kitchen with the RCDs, you know, like all the kitchen sockets can easily be used outside and various stuff like that. So I'm here with my 2 little bad bitches. Got the ump about the football. We lost 2-1, but we move on. Deep joy. Right, I'll turn you around and we'll look at some of the pictures. So yeah, I always take general just for characteristics, just in case I miss it on the cert when I do it. I always fill in the cert. As I go along, so you can see it along. It's just some of the observations. If we're in a hurry or anything, I'll just try to just take photos and do them here. So obviously you've got basic insulation visible outside enclosure, poor connections on that one. Obviously above a doorway, so there's no fire, quick notes and all that. Obviously this one, I don't really see this as much as an observation, but they're actually carrying out the remedial works for this as we're chatting. So, but I'm not sure if that's a 1.5 or 2.5, but to be fair, that's as long as it comes out of there, but Reese is going to have a look at it for any thermal effects and all that, you know, to make sure it's all done correctly. I think he's going to do a link now with 6mm. This is an interesting one, even though I'm not sure if you can see that from this photo. There might be the next one now, but that's an actual plastic incomer. But obviously where that has been disconnected, we still want that connected, because under fault conditions that could potentially come live, which I see that. And then the fuse board, and have a little look at the fuse board. We've had a good chat about that anyway, so you know, there's loads going on with that. Obviously a few of the touches. This, I've just taken a photo of that because that circuit 2 is marked up on the board as oven, but it's actually a thing. This is another interesting one, which I find, you know, is that this is the ring final circuit, so there's absence of continuity of the line conductors within a ring main, so that is the line. So we take pictures of each one of when we get to them, so we see it. So yeah, the earth's nice and low there, so I'll quickly do the maths on that. Here we go. So what did we get? We got 0.30, we got 0.30 on the lives times 1.67 equals 0.50. That's low. I think it's actually that actual circuit's got the boiler on there as well, so you kind of expect that from parallel paths. You might be wondering where I got that 1.67 from, but obviously with twin and half cables on a normal ring final circuit, you got 2.5. Divide that by 1.5, which is the CPC, and that gives you 1.666, which round it off to 1.67. So that usually tells you whether you've got any possible loose connections. Yeah, and that's obviously where we've done the figure of 8, basic installation showing on our things, pendants. We always do that for smoke alarms. They're out of date, so alarm up in the loft with the cover, the port connections above the downlights and stuff like that. The light switch wasn't earthed, even though we're going to change that for a plastic one because it's got problems. And also we obviously take measurements of all the light fittings that we're replacing, because them ones on ground floor. There's old Ebbsy, that's in a conservatory. They're just 12 volts and they don't actually work, because obviously this is for a landlord. We need to get everything up and running because someone's moving in tomorrow. So yeah, that's kind of a little insight into that. Right, we'll move on. So a very productive day in the office, so I'm just going to come into the unit now and have a good tidy up. So I'd done a lot of soldering at the weekend and all that, so I made a bit of a mess. Where it was a Sunday, I was in a bit of a rush, so I'm just gonna have a tidy up and get all the stuff all sorted, get this all back up in the crates and all that. So should be nice. What me up to tomorrow? We've got a big test tomorrow. I think Ollie and Ebbsy are with us tomorrow, so hopefully by the next time you see me, I'll be with them. Hey Darcy. Oi, oi, baby girl. Good morning, Thursday morning. I've got Ollie Van Persie here with us. We're just coming back to this large house that we've done loads of work at before. We've got to test this today. That's already been must have been tested. I have to check that. We've got this. We've got all the stables, which is the garage greenhouse. It's large. It's got a swimming pool and all that. So we've got to do all that. We've got Ollie with us. We're going to crack on, but we had a funny one, Ollie, didn't we? We had that chandelier that was live at this place, and I think I've got a video, so I put a clip up of it and all that. And even with the chandelier stand, I've never seen that before, have you? And it's awesome, yeah. So I'll put a clip up to show you. It's quite interesting. Is it on? On. Yeah, no. This isolator is obviously for the main one, is that the customer wants surge protection, so we're going to investigate and look into that. So it's disconnecting that earth so we can do the test on it. I'll give you a quick tour. So we basically tested this before and we carried out the remedial works. It was well untidy, Ollie, when it was. Yeah. So we got all this, so we got 3 boards. It's, you know, we're just trying to keep it all going because it was far too much to do all in one go, wasn't it? So they were all like this, weren't they? Yeah. But they didn't have any RCD protection and all that. And as I say before, the first time I've ever seen plastic single phase Merlin Dram boards like this. I didn't even know they'd done them like that. Very bizarre. So we're just over at a big house that we've done some work at before. We tested it and done remedial work. We're just at the next day. Coming back to do the outbuildings, I think it's so we've got an office here, we've got a garage, a gym, there's a swimming pool, there's 2 greenhouses, shed, and there's some like electric gates and all that. So hopefully we've got Ollie and Ebbsy here with us today, so we're hoping to get through as much as possible. But yeah, it looks quite interesting. Look, it's got a double pole RCBO. I don't think I've ever seen them before. I've only ever seen the pods, but yeah, all Merlins around. Yeah, so we're literally just testing this consumer unit for the swimming pool. It does that 16 amp commander socket and that 13 amp socket. So what they've done is they've bunched both sides of the RCBO, and one side, which is that commander socket, goes through that contactor in the middle, which is fed via that timer. I don't know what that bit in the middle is with this. That must be like a sensor or something. I don't know if that's a temperature thing or what that is. I'll have a little look up or ask Mike. They've done it themselves. Absolutely beautiful. Ebbs is going in a minute, ain't it, babes?
Yeah, can't swim, but I'm still going.
Yeah, we see you on the pedalow on holiday.
Fucking bosh.
I could go then. So do you reckon my insurance will cover me for that, Ollie? On top of that car?
Yeah, but I was to fold on it.
Ebbs, you want to go to the office consumer unit and start flicking through them and we shout? It's your plug-in, Tessa. Look, I absolutely rinsed that on you. Yeah, it's terrible. Show how thick it is.
Hear the sound it makes.
Oh, does it make a noise?
No.
It's horrendous. I think the lights are the funniest things. You can't even see the actual lights.
See them unless you look. If you stand above it, you can't barely see that. You have to be right down in front of it.
That's well naughty. And look, press the button. Oh, is this asked in?
Yeah.
It's not in here, is it?
Oh, something's probably festering in there now.
Friday morning, just here with Ollie. We just got out a socket out in the landing. So basically, he's going to come through the back side of that. This little partition wall. It's little room. It's only a little lad's room. Look, he's got Freddy Krueger. He's got Jason. All sorts. Where's that little doll? It's well scary, isn't it? Yeah. So we just got out a socket there for the piano there. So I think they're going to get USB ones for there. So all in all, should be quite well. We're only here for an hour or so. Me and Ebbs are putting the telly up downstairs. So we're just putting this TV frame up. I do not know how we got roped into doing this. We never do this sort of stuff, Ollie, do we? It's an S-frame Samsung. Lead's got to go through there. We had to move the TV point here. Ollie's just doing a brush thing down there for this slack of the cable and all that. Absolute nightmare, Ollie, isn't it? Yeah. Oi, oi. Old school glory. A little bit longer than we thought, but it's turned out all right, Ollie.
Yeah.
It looks a bit low, but it's only because of things. But mine, I just have a similar table to that, and mine's about 1 inch because when it's high up, it's just painful to watch. A short little job we've got to do. We've got to just change this over. We've got the Very Light Pro in here. It's just some of these lights don't work. These ones here don't work. Them ones all okay. Right, do you want to turn that off at the board, Ebbs? Yeah, it's through that room there, yeah? Yeah, these Very Light demos, and hopefully that fits on there a treat. Right, so we're just back at this job that we done a couple of weeks ago in Bennington. We actually done this for the customer, not the actual builder. And all this was boarded, so we had to take quite a lot of it off. This wall wasn't, but the builders managed to put them up, and I think there's a wall light. I think it's there or there. I'll put a couple of the old photos up and see these Copexes. They're coming out to about here and going up, and they're for the 5 amps. They're actual floor sockets that are going to sit next to some sofas. So we just got to band it down there. It was a bit untidy here before, and then just get it. But it's going to have insulation, and I think the screed's going to be 50mm. So what we probably have to do is probably put 50mm boxes in, but we're going to do that after it's actually been screeded, because I think it's just too much of a ball ache to try and set them in now. So we're going to go for that. So we're going to whip these off and sort that out. I'll give you a quick tour of this job. So this basically, all this bit here was when they built this house, because it's on a farm, the only way they can get planning permission was to have half of it as a barn, you know, something in use. So this was all plasterboard, and then it had all the vaporproof light fittings, which we've actually fitted over there in them sheds. Ollie done that the other week with us light switch. And so now that is going to be the main hall. So the other part, the original part of the house, they done. And we literally done all this. It took us ages because we had to take all the plasterboard off and all that. And yeah, so it's a bit of a nightmare, but we got there in the end. It's all right, but it's all coming up. So that is going to be the finished floor height. So because obviously that other hall is going to flow through. So but we had to repair all this. So it's an absolute nightmare. First time I've used them, they're okay. Bit of a pain they don't come in boxes of 10, but it is what it is. Another nice little tip, I'll show you. I absolutely hate using dry lining boxes, but if we do, we screw them in like that because it stops when the plasterer, they can't move it out of the way and they don't hit it with a trowel. So that's why we do it like that. But yeah, it's a good idea. Even if you do get a recessed socket, you can unscrew them because after it's plastered, it's done its job, you know what I mean? But right, anyway, it is what it is. Let's try and dig these wall lights out. So that is all done. So we've literally just got this. So these are going to be floor sockets. There's not really a lot else we can do. So I'm not going to build them up and all that. And all that Copex is going to be insulation. So I'm not too concerned about the cable collapsing or anything daft like that because it's only going to have no weight on it whatsoever with it, the span. And we found them 2 wall lights. Deep joys. Cheers for that, lads. Right, anyway, that's us done for the day. Oi, 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 oi. Let's go to the cafe. Ordered these from Grant and Stone. Look, the size of them, well, they are what they are, aren't they? A metre long, but that's an absolute bargain for 17 quid, so about 21 quid. Absolute right touch, Ebbsy. Right, that's us done for another week. Thanks for watching. Old G-Man's going to see us out. Oi, 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 oi. Extra sausage off Ebbsy. Right, have a nice weekend. See you later.
Alright guys, it's Graham here with Wheels Electrical on a Friday. Just giving out some good old shanties for you today, so here we go. It's a damn tough life full of toil and strife we will men undergo. And we don't give a damn where we drink our rum with the girls of old Maui.